Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight, I want to speak to you about the minimum wage and how it's affecting you and the rest of the nation, and maybe other countries as well. But tonight, it's just America. So, listening to Bernie Sanders, he was talking about bringing up the wages to a livable wage. And since I have been dealing with Seattle as of late, Seattle just passed a $15 an hour minimum wage. With the cost of living so high, I would like to know how the living wage or the minimum wage, I wonder how that's going to allow you to have a better life while you're in Seattle. With the cost of living being as high as it is, which means that everything is higher than it should normally be. You have to make $60,000 or better. You have to make more than $60,000 a year as a single adult in order to not be part of low income. So, if you're making minimum wage, give me some ideas about how you're able to do things. Go out to the movies, go out to restaurants, maybe go to the Space Needle and have lunch, hit the ferry boat and go over to one of the islands. If you're making minimum wage, do you have to work more than your regular hours to get things done? And if so, are you having any kind of a life living in Seattle? Now, this could be any city in the United States where it costs a lot to live there. The rent's high, the cost of living's high, gas is high, the food's high, things of that nature. Do you believe that by asking for a livable wage, you're actually asking employers to jack up their prices? So basically, the raise that you just got doesn't do you any good because now it costs you more to buy the product. It's a never ending dog eat dog out there. Now, I'm not saying that people should not get minimum wage, but what I am saying is that restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Subway, restaurants like that were never meant to be a full time job. They were meant to be a job that you got when you're out of high school, going into college, so you can get some job experience under your belt. So when you do get a career out there in the job world, you would be able to know what it's like to work. Get up in the morning, clock in, take your lunch break, clock out, go home. That sort of thing. Get a paycheck, get some responsibility under your belt. It wasn't meant to be a full time job. It was meant for the high school students and it was meant for maybe the kids going into college. When I was in high school, I worked as a bagger at a grocery store. I got extra credits for school for that. And that wasn't meant to be a full time job. That's why we were bag boys. We were the ones that put the bags and took the groceries out to the people's cars so we could get some job experience under our belt. Now, everything has changed. What used to be just a job for the kids now is jobs for the adults. And it's sad when you work a job and you have to find out that as soon as you've retired, you got to go back to work again to make ends meet. So, again, how do you make ends meet when you're making less than 60,000 a year in Seattle? They say if you're making 60 grand a year and a single male or less, you're considered a low income person. So, if you're making minimum wage, how do you make ends meet? Name me some things in the comments below that you're able to do. And I'm not talking about free stuff, because I mean, there's free stuff all over the place. You can go to parks, there's free things at museums and stuff like that, and that's cool. If that's what you like, more power to you, go enjoy it. But I'm asking about going to like a restaurant to have fish and chips, going to a coffee shop to enjoy some coffee, going to a theater to watch a movie, or going to a play, like a theater to watch a play. Like I love Phantom of the Opera. That's one of my favorites. I've also seen The Lion King. That's another favorite. I would love to go see Cirque du Soleil, and I would love to see them do Avatar. I never got to see that yet. So those are things that I would like to do, and those cost money. They really do. Even a football game. Tickets are not cheap at a football game. So how are you able to go and do that? Luckily, they have games that they show on TV. But what kind of things can you do that would make your life a little more easier? Or are you just paying your rent, paying your bills, buying some groceries at the store, and eating top ramen all the time? Nothing against top ramen. I love the stuff. I cook it with ground beef and I add some seasoning to it. I wrap it up in a burrito and a burrito shell, and then I grill it. It's my burrito bite. So that's something I came up with, and I make it, and it's really cool. Anyway, so what are you doing on minimum wage that's allowing you to have some semblance of a life? I wish the cost of living would come down to a livable cost, so that way you can make the same amount of money and the price of the items would come down so you can afford it. But that's not going to happen, at least not until the public, the citizens, the regular Joes and the regular Joannes stand up and say, we're not going to take it anymore. Having said that, put a comment below and let me know what you do to make ends meet. Other people might be able to use that as a help. Maybe they're looking for things to help them and they don't know. So put a comment down there and let me know what you do to make your dollar stretch further. What kind of job maybe you have, what kind of a salary you're making. You don't have to give me specifics. Just give me a for instance, like say I'm making minimum wage and the company I work for is still operating and I have to work extra hours to make ends meet because my rent's so high. Do you share an apartment? Do you live in your mother's basement? Or do you sleep in a tent out in the backyard? What do? Do you stay in a shelter when you go to work during the day and maybe go to school? What do you do to make ends meet for yourself? Anyway, if you have an idea for another video, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, hit that thumbs up. Give me a like. Not everybody's going to like these videos, and if you don't like them, please don't be a wuss. Put a comment below and say, hey, I didn't like your videos. You're annoying. Please get off the air. And I'll tell you, I'll think about it. If you do like the videos, say, hey, great video. Give me a thumbs up on it. I would really love it. Also, hit that subscribe button. The subscribe button is down there. You can find it if you look for it. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, Seattle, America, and all points beyond.